Let's be brutally honest, brother. If you're over 40 and you're still training shoulders like you're in your 20s, chasing numbers, slinging dumbbells, ego lifting till your joints scream, then let me give it to you straight. You're one rep away from a permanent injury. I've been there. I'm not just a trainer. I'm a man who's trained through broken bones, ligament tears, and years of pushing past pain, until the pain pushed back harder. And the first joint that gave out on me? The shoulder. It's always the shoulder. That's because it's the most mobile joint in the human body. And that mobility comes with a painful price if you don't train it with respect. I'm writing this for the man who's over 40, still hungry, still showing up, but is tired of not seeing results. Or worse, being in constant pain from training. Training principle number 1, the anti-ego press. Why standing overhead press is your real test. Let me ask you a question, straight up. When was the last time you overhead pressed a barbell? Standing? No bench, no back support. Just you, the bar, and gravity doing its thing. If your answer is not in years, or worse, never, then let me break it to you gently, but firmly. You've been skipping the single most honest strength test in upper body training. Because unlike the bench press, where you're supported, locked in, and pushing away from your body, the standing overhead press exposes everything. It humbles lifters. It exposes weak links. It silences egos. That's why I call it the anti-ego press. The problem with shoulder training after 40. By the time most guys hit their 40s, they've racked up more wear and tear than they realize. Tight thoracic spines from years of desk work. Weak rotator cuffs from bad form or overtraining. Forward-rolled shoulders from poor posture. A core that gave up a long time ago. When these dysfunctions pile up, the overhead press doesn't just feel hard. It feels impossible. But here's the thing. That's exactly why you need it. The standing overhead press isn't just an exercise for the shoulders. It's a full-body integrity check. When done right, it strengthens all 3 heads of the deltoid, forces core bracing and spinal alignment, improves scapular control and shoulder mobility, trains balance, stability, and coordination. And yes, it builds those boulder caps that stretch your t-shirt sleeves. How to do it without destroying your joints. Here's the blueprint. Don't skip a step. Step 1, bar placement. Start with the bar at collarbone level. Hands shoulder width apart. Not too wide, not too narrow. Step 2, grip. Wrists stacked, elbows slightly in front of the bar. Step 3, core engagement. Squeeze your glutes. Tighten your abs like you're bracing for a punch. No arching. Step 4, the press. As you press, your chin moves back, then forward under the bar. This ensures a vertical bar path and spinal alignment. Step 5, pause and control. Pause overhead. Lock out fully. Slowly lower the bar under full control. Case study, Tom's wake-up call. Tom was 46, ex-Army, tough as nails guy, but he hadn't pressed overhead in years. Relied on machines, cables, Smith presses. The first day I had him try a standing barbell press. He looked at me like I was crazy. He loaded 95 pounds. Got stuck halfway up. Shaky core. Stiff shoulders. Bar crashed down. He was embarrassed. But I told him, this is your new benchmark, Tom. This isn't failure, it's feedback. Over 8 weeks, we rebuilt from scratch. Breathing drills, mobility work, lightweight, lots of reps. By week 9, he was pressing 115 pounds for reps, pain-free. His wife said his posture looked 10 years younger. His traps popped again. Confidence came back. Ego versus wisdom, the heavyweight fight of your 40s. You're not 25 anymore. That's not an insult. That's a damn advantage, if you use it. You don't need to impress anyone. You're training for longevity, functionality, and yes, physique. But that physique must come without sacrificing your joints or integrity. The overhead press becomes your truth serum. It tells you if your core is asleep, if your shoulders are locked, or if your mobility is compromised. It doesn't lie. So drop the ego. Pick up the bar. Start light. Rebuild your base. And watch how everything in your training improves. Programming. Choose based on your level. Beginner. 3 sets x 10 reps. Use a weight that feels like a 6-7/10 effort by the last rep. Intermediate. For sets x 15 reps. Tempo. 2 seconds up, 1 second pause, 3 seconds down. Advanced. German volume training. 10 sets x 10 reps at 60 to 65% of your 1 RM. Rest. 60 to 90 seconds between sets. Tips for maximum results. Stretch pecs and lats before lifting to open up the shoulder range. Do thoracic extensions with foam rollers pre-workout. Use a belt only if your core is already strong and you're pushing higher volume sets. Your takeaway: the standing overhead press is your training mirror. It reflects your posture, mobility, mindset, and ego. If you avoid it, you avoid growth. Not just in your shoulders, but in your discipline. So next time you're tempted to chase the numbers on the bench, ask yourself, am I building strength or stroking my ego? Because after 40, real strength means knowing what matters most. Training principle number 2, the Arnold press, the forgotten functional giant. Let me tell you something that most modern lifters, especially the Instagram generation, have completely forgotten. The Arnold press is not just some flashy bro science shoulder move. It's one of the most biomechanically intelligent pressing patterns ever introduced to bodybuilding. And yet, it's largely been pushed aside, replaced by fixed machines, half reps on seated dumbbell presses, or fancy cable systems that disconnect you from reality. But I'm here to bring it back, especially for men over 40, because this movement delivers function, form, and longevity. Why Arnold got it right. Named after Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Arnold press combines 2 key motions. 1. A dumbbell front raise rotation. 2. Followed by a full overhead press. What makes this so powerful? It creates longer time under tension for the front and medial delts. It forces you to stabilize the load through a rotating plane, unlike traditional vertical lifts. It requires your core to stay active throughout the entire press, especially when done standing. That's what we call a functional hypertrophy movement, building size while improving the way your body moves. Real case study, Greg's shoulder comeback. Greg, 53, was a contractor, a real hardworking dude. Decades of overhead work with tools left him with chronic shoulder tightness and fatigue. Pressing hurt. Seated dumbbell presses made things worse. His ortho suggested surgery. We switched to light, standing Arnold presses. 15-pounders at first. Focused on rotation control, strict form, full range. By week 6, he was pain-free for the first time in 2 years. By week 10, he was doing 40 pounds dumbbells. Feeling stronger, more mobile, and more confident. His wife texted me. He used to wince every time he lifted groceries. Now he throws 40 pounds mulch bags over his shoulder like he's 30 again. That's not just muscle sep. That's functional freedom. Why you must stand, not sit. I'll say it clearly. If you're sitting down for shoulder presses, you're cheating yourself. Sitting removes core engagement. It reduces proprioception, your body's sense of balance and control. It encourages spinal arching and poor breathing patterns. But when you stand, your glutes fire, your spine aligns, your abs, obliques, and lower back become active stabilizers. That's why the standing Arnold press is a full body movement, disguised as a shoulder exercise. And that's exactly what men over 40 need. Muscle with purpose. Movement breakdown, step by step. Start position. Dumbbells held in front of your shoulders. Palms facing you. Elbows close to your ribs. The rotation. As you begin pressing, rotate the dumbbells so your palms face forward. By the time they reach eye level, the press. Press overhead in a controlled path. Pause briefly at the top. Return path. Reverse the motion back down. Rotate the dumbbells as you lower. Control every inch. Tempo. 2 seconds up, 1 second pause, 3 seconds down. Your shoulders should be burning with every controlled rep. Programming. Beginner. 3 sets x 10 reps. Lightweight, controlled pace. Intermediate. For sets x 12 to 15 reps. Advanced. 5 sets x 8 to 10 reps with single arm focus. Single arm version recommended for balancing left/right strength. Enhancing core activation. Mimicking real-life sports and functional patterns. Common mistakes to avoid. 1. Going too heavy. This exercise is about form and tension, not brute force. 2. Skipping the rotation. That twist is what recruits more fibers and builds control. 3. Seated slouch. Lose the chair. Stand tall. On the movement. 4. Speed lifting. Fast reps equals momentum equals zero gains. Time under tension builds delts, not momentum. The bigger picture, why this exercise matters after 40. After 40, we don't just train for aesthetics. We train for joint integrity, rotational strength, core integration, injury prevention, And the Arnold press delivers on all of those fronts. It's a thinking man's lift. It rewards discipline, punishes recklessness, and builds a shoulder shape that not only looks powerful, but feels bulletproof. Personal reflection. When I turned 42, I could bench press 275, but I couldn't carry groceries overhead without shoulder strain. That moment hit me like a freight train. I realized my training needed to evolve, not regress. Since reintroducing standing Arnold presses twice a week, my shoulders are more mobile. My traps are less overactive. My core feels tighter. And I finally look how I feel, capable. That's what I want for you too, Sep. Superset suggestion for advanced lifters. Try this finisher. 1. Arnold press x8, moderate weight. 2. Standing lateral raise x12. 3. Plank hold, 60 seconds. Rest 90 seconds. Repeat 3 rounds. Your delts will scream. Your abs will shake. But your confidence will skyrocket. Training principle number 3. Front raises, the right way, the smart way. Let's get one thing clear. Most people butcher front raises. They turn this powerful, targeted isolation exercise into a swinging contest with the dumbbells. Full of momentum, ego, and zero intention. What should be a precision strike to the anterior deltoids turns into a sloppy, joint-destroying circus act. And after 40, that kind of lifting will cost you. If your goal is to sculpt your shoulders without grinding them into powder, the front raise, done right, is your secret weapon. Why front raises matter more after 40. Here's a truth bomb most don't want to hear. The bench press isn't the reason your chest looks good in a shirt. It's your front delts. That roundness, that pop under the collar, that square silhouette that says, I lift. It comes from fully developed front deltoids. But here's the catch. They're already heavily involved in pressing movements, bench, overhead, dips, which means they're easily overtrained, but rarely isolated correctly. And if you've got years of bad movement patterns behind you, your front delts tend to compensate for weak pecs, lazy triceps, or tight lats, leading to inflammation, pain, and imbalance. So what's the answer? Not heavy weight, not high volume, but control, isolation, and intelligence. Case study, Ethan's transformation. Ethan, 49, former CrossFit guy, built like a tank, but his shoulders were always aching. During our first assessment, I asked him to perform a front raise with 10 pounds dumbbells, strict form. He couldn't lift past chin height without wincing. So we dropped the load, increased his mind-muscle connection, worked on tempo, introduced single-arm, standing, slow front raises, with active core engagement. After 6 weeks, not only were his shoulders pain-free, but he told me, dude, my t-shirts fit like I got them tailored. I never knew front delts mattered this much. How to execute, strictly. Forget what you see at the gym. This is how you do front raises that build, not break. 1. Dumbbell selection. Start light, 10 to 20 pounds max. It's about tension, not load. 2. Stance. Feet shoulder width. Slight knee bend. Glutes and core engaged. 3. Grip. Neutral or pronated, palms down, depending on wrist comfort. 4. Movement. Raise one dumbbell at a time, single arm preferred. Bring it up slowly to shoulder height. Pause for 1 second at the top. Lower under control, 3 seconds down. 5. Posture. Shoulders back. Chest proud. No rocking or leaning. Rep speed matters. This isn't cardio. This is surgery. Control every inch. Why single arm is superior. 2-arm front raises often invite cheating, using momentum, swaying, or dumping tension into your traps. But single arm forces you to stabilize your core and spine, highlights imbalances between sides, increases mind-muscle awareness, mimics athletic patterns, boxing, throwing, lifting, reaching. It's not just smarter, it's safer, especially for men over 40 with limited shoulder mobility. Programming. Beginner, 3 sets x 10 reps, single arm. Intermediate, 4 sets x 12 to 15 reps, alternating arms. Advanced, 5 sets x 10 reps with isometric hold at top, 2 seconds. Finisher idea. At the end of your shoulder day, do a drop set. 10 reps heavy. Drop weight. 15 reps moderate. Drop again. 20 reps light and slow. Delts on fire. Shoulder caps activated. No pain. All gain. Functional takeaway. After 40, it's not about how heavy can I lift. It's about, can I move with precision, under control? and still build muscle that lasts. Front raises teach you that discipline. They teach you to respect isolation. They teach you to train like a craftsman, not a demolition crew. And more importantly, they protect your shoulders for the rest of your life. Integration into your week. If you're doing a classic push/pull/legs or upper/lower split, plug these in. Post-compound movement after presses. 1-2x per week max. Pair with rear delt work to balance shoulder development. Front raises aren't your main course. They're the finishing salt, but they make the dish unforgettable. Final lesson. Discipline is the real flex after 40. Let's have a real conversation here. Man to man, by the time you hit 40, you've already been through some wars. Maybe not in a ring or a cage, but in life. Bills, careers, kids, heartbreak, loss, dreams deferred. And in that storm of responsibility, one thing becomes painfully clear. Motivation fades, ego cracks, but discipline, that's the only muscle that never stops growing. If you train it, in your 20s, you could hit the gym on 4 hours of sleep, slam a pre-workout, and PR just because you were angry at your ex. At 40, that trick doesn't work anymore. Your back talks to you now. Your joints remember every bad rep. Your energy has a cost. And time is your rarest currency. So why train? Because now, your body is no longer your playground. It's your vehicle. It carries your children. It holds your partner. It walks into rooms your younger self only dreamed of. And it deserves to be strong. Not flashy strong. Functional. Resilient. Capable. Real strength isn't what you think. It's not the guy deadlifting 5 plates while grunting like a gorilla. It's the man who shows up every week, even when no one is watching, who trains with intention, who scales the weight down to protect his joints, who slows the rep down, not to look cool, but to listen to what his body is saying. That's real flexing. Because at 40 plus, you're not chasing aesthetics anymore. You're chasing longevity. You're chasing freedom of movement. You're chasing that quiet power, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself in the mirror or scream under a barbell. The shoulders you build now carry more than weight. They carry your children on hikes. They carry your partner when life gets heavy. They carry the burden of showing the next generation what real men look like: disciplined, grounded, balanced. And those shoulders don't come from random workouts you pull off social media. They come from choosing quality over quantity, form over ego, patience over shortcuts. They come from doing the work when nobody claps for you. Full circle, what we've built. Let's rewind. Standing overhead press, your truth serum, your ego check, your posture fixer. Arnold press, your mobility enhancer, core engager, shape builder. Front raises, your sculpting tool, your discipline drill, your detail finisher. None of these are flashy. None of them go viral. But each one, done with consistency, makes you bulletproof. Not just in the gym, in life. You can either keep doing what you've been doing, chasing numbers and wondering why your shoulders hurt, or start training like the man you've become, not the boy you once were. Show up, strip the weight, slow the reps, listen to your body, respect your age, but don't let it define you. Discipline is the new strength. Longevity is the new aesthetic. And the real flex is still being strong 10, 20 years from now. While everyone else is in physical therapy talking about the good old days, you're not here to relive the past. You're here to build a future you can carry on your own shoulders. If this lesson hit home, drop a comment below. Share your story. Let's build a tribe of strong, smart, disciplined men who redefine what over 40 really looks like. Subscribe for more. Your next evolution starts now.